Pittsburgh, 1944. Still worker sits down before dawn. 3 eggs, fried bacon grease. Quarter-pound thick bacon. Buttered toast. Fried potatoes, glistening lard. Glass whole unpasteurized milk. His doctor never raised eyebrow. Today, every single thing carries warning label. The calorie equation, first understand this. Average American man working heavy industry burns 4,000 to 6,000 calories daily. Coal miners ran even higher. Lumberjacks higher still. Sedentary office worker, by today's standards, basically did not exist. Men eating these breakfasts, not commuting 40 minutes to desk, they were swinging hammers, hauling pallets, walking fields, working forges, stocking holds. Food on table was fuel for work. Better Homes Garden's 1941 cookbook recommended typical breakfast orange juice, choice of cereal, scrambled eggs with cheese, whole wheat toast, coffee, milk, for working men. Additional portions expected. Additional calories needed. Modern portion sizes minuscule by comparison. Research shows portion sizes increased along with Americans' waistlines. Since 1996, bagels, muffins doubled in size. Sodas tripled. Dinner plates grown accommodate larger meals. The Wartime Context Ration Books issued May 1942. Sugar rationed. Coffee rationed year and half. Meat, butter, cheese, all stamp values. Breakfasts we examine sound enormous modern ear. Many stretched scarce ingredients with cheaper old-fashioned ones. Lard, cornmeal, organ, meat, salt, pork were foundations. All been American tables 200 years. What changed wasn't really food. What changed was work. Science, supply chain. Understanding nutrition fundamentally different. Medical guidelines reversing direction repeatedly. Food economy itself transformed. Ground beef took fewer ration stamps than steak. Homemakers stretched meat fixing, meatloaf, spaghetti, stuffed peppers. Cookbooks magazines offered tips fixing vegetable main dishes. Other meats, beef, tongue, hog jowls, poultry. Farmers' butchers had new market, little used cuts. Breakfast number 1. Whole milk raw cream 1944 vanilla shake started whole milk. Delivered glass bottles from local dairy that morning, often unpasteurized. Living enzymes. Natural vitamin A. Cream rose top bottle. Nobody homogenized it. Hot cereals served with tablespoon butter melted in. Quarter cup heavy cream poured around edges. Spoonful brown sugar molasses across top. Some homes fried egg sat middle bowl. End result 2-3 times calorie count modern breakfast cereal. Double fat. Respectable protein amount. August 10, 1987. FDA published mandatory pasteurization. All milk interstate commerce. Effective September 9th that year. Now federal crime ship glass raw milk across state line. Some states allow intrastate sales. Most don't. Modern medical advice narrowed considerably. Whole milk replaced skim. Heavy cream pitcher left table. Butter disappeared from bowl. American Heart Association issued increasingly strict guidance through 1980s, 1990s. Breakfast number 2. Buttermilk pancakes, fried lard 1944 pancake, different animal from today's pancake. Batter, usually buttermilk based. Made leftover buttermilk from churning. Leavening was baking soda reacting buttermilk's acid. Fat in pan was lard, often homemade. Occasionally bacon grease, almost never vegetable oil. Real butter, quarter-pound stick, sat table. Real maple syrup where you could get it. In South, sorghum syrup, cane syrup did work instead. Whole thing eaten Saturday morning after eggs, bacon already cleared. Was second course. For most late 20th century, dish dietitians used teaching example what not eat. White flour, saturated fat sugar, cooked animal fat stacked 4 high. Verdict unanimous. Verdict harsh. But item where medical conversation shifted most quietly. Lard particular had slow rehabilitation. Studies published since 2010 shown pasture raised lard roughly 45% monounsaturated fat. Same category olive oil. Higher vitamin D content almost any other cooking fat. Modern research diet heart hypothesis less conclusive than 1980s consensus claimed. Several studies called foundational research question, including reanalysis, Sydney Diet Heart Study published 2013. Breakfast number 3, liver onions working family 1944. Calf beef liver, usually cheapest cut butcher counter. Also densest. 4-ounce serving beef liver delivered more iron-pound beef chuck, more vitamin A, almost any other animal product. Substantial dose B, 12 folate. Era when vitamin supplementation rare expensive. Liver was delivery vehicle. Some northeastern households' liver onions appeared breakfast plate twice week. Preparation straightforward. Slice liver thin. Soak milk hour mellow iron flavor. Dredge seasoned flour. Pan fry butter bacon fat sliced yellow onions. Eat with eggs toast coffee. Margaret Mead led federal program Committee on Food Habits during war. One job. Convince Americans eat organ meats. Prime cuts could go troops. It worked. By 1945, organ meats every diner menu. Calf brains, scrambled eggs. Fried sweetbreads, beef tongue sandwiches. Case against liver modern dietary guidance specific. First concern vitamin A toxicity. Single 4-ounce serving contains roughly 6 times daily recommended intake preformed vitamin A. High sustained doses cause liver damage, bone density loss, birth defects. Second concern heavy metals. Third saturated fat cholesterol, though both softened current advice. Most physicians today recommend organ meat occasionally, between once month, once week, never daily. Long step down from 1944 norm twice week. Breakfast number 4, salt pork fat back before, reliable refrigeration salt pork meat that did not spoil. Slabs pork belly packed salt kept months cellar smokehouse. Fatback cousin cut along spine did same. Rural American 1944 both standard. Both showed up breakfast. Few thin slices salt pork fried until edges curled fat rendered. Eaten alongside eggs cornbread side. Rendered fat became cooking medium everything else stove. Philogger coastal Maine. Ranch hand Texas. Sharecropper Mississippi. Salt pork breakfast protein, breakfast fat same time. Also breakfast salt. 4-ounce serving contained over 2,000 milligrams sodium. More than entire daily recommended intake current guidelines. Sodium load, where modern medicine draws hardest line. Link between sodium, intake hypertension, well-established sensitive populations. Rates higher blood pressure climbed dramatically since mid-20th century. Add curing process itself. Involves nitrates, nitrites. Both now linked elevated colon cancer risks some studies. Add fact almost no one today does kind physical work would burn off those calories. Case against salt pork daily breakfast meat today by current standards airtight. Case understanding why great-grandparents ate it harder dismiss. Without it winter's rural north were lean. Same food today raises blood pressure. In 1944 prevented hunger. Breakfast number 5. Steak eggs this was breakfast working man. Not rich man, working man. 1944 beef rationed. But cheaper cuts round steak, chuck steak, sirloin, tip bottom round, still default morning protein, anyone could get them. 1/4-inch thick steak, often cut today labelled stew meat. Salted peppered, slapped hot cast iron pan pad butter spoonful beef tallow. Cooked 90 seconds each side. 2-3 eggs went next. Fried same pan, same fat, rendered juices steak running into whites. Man would eat with sliced cornbread, 2 pieces toast. Glass whole milk. Black coffee. Plate ran upward 1,500 calories. Protein content roughly 70 grams. Saturated fat content roughly 30 grams. Cholesterol roughly 600 milligrams. By 1980 dietary standards treated everyone those numbers problem. Cholesterol number alone double cap. By current standards picture shifted. 2015 United States dietary guidelines removed cap dietary cholesterol entirely. Because dietary cholesterol does not meaningfully raise blood cholesterol most people. Protein number now considered asset rather excess. Saturated fat number still flagged. But absolute prohibition defined late 20th century cardiology loosened. The Great Reversal late 1970s dietary fat hypothesis took hold American medicine. Saturated fat identified primary driver heart disease. Any breakfast combined butter, cream, sugar, single bowl, singled out problem. American Heart Association issued increasingly strict guidance. Bowl emptied cream. Butter disappeared. Skim milk replaced whole. Interesting twist, science moved since then. Major studies published 2010s, including 2014 meta-analysis Annals Internal Medicine, found link between saturated fat heart disease less clear originally claimed. United States dietary guidelines lifted cap dietary cholesterol 2015. None means grandfather's bowl, now cardiology recommended list. But medical posture toward its softened way would surprise doctors 1995. Eggs no longer villain called 40 years. Lard quietly rehabilitated. Case against saturated fat more nuanced than American Heart Association 1961 guidance claimed. Cod liver oil's underlying purpose vitamin D delivery come back clinical focus. What actually changed? Biggest change last 80 years, never really about food at all. Men ate these breakfasts 1944, burning 6,000 calories day jobs no longer exist most us. Medical guidance followed attempt adapt disappearing world. Sometimes got science right, sometimes didn't. Plate same. We variable. Cream, wheat still shelf most grocery stores. Cod liver oil back, marketed omega-3 supplement. Steak eggs diner menus coast. None ever truly banned. Simply moved daily plate occasional one. Type 2 diabetes rare 1944. Centers Disease Control did not begin tracking public health crisis until decades later. Same breakfast today contributes population high diabetes rates. In population walk 12 miles day worked physical jobs perfectly functional source energy minerals. Math not changed. Math just no longer adds up same way. Men burning 6,000 calories foundry floor. Different proposition desk worker burning 1,800. Same food, different bodies, different work, different outcomes. Whether progress lost, simply change. Question better answered alone kitchen table. Understanding why grandparents ate way they did. Requires understanding world they lived in. Work they performed. Scarcity they faced. Science they trusted. All fundamentally different from today. Food hasn't changed meaningfully. Everything around it has. That's real story. That's honest answer. Somewhere between extremes. Quieter than either position. More complicated than simple nostalgia. More nuanced than modern superiority. Just different equation. Same ingredients. Different variables. Different results.